welcome to Empty Nesters. I'm Jill Whelan.
And I'm Leah Mangum.
And today we're so excited to have one of my close friends who I absolutely adore. And she is probably one of the most beautiful women on the planet on the inside and out. Her name is NATASHA HENSTRIDGE. We know her from Species and from CSI and from Magnum PI and
whole 9 yards.
Now she's just making things up.
Oh,
right? Magnum PI never happened.
Oh, well, no, Hawaii 5-0. I don't know. Something about a cop.
Different things.
Somebody had a mustache.
Flowers.
And it wasn't you.
Totally.
Okay, Clarissa. Everybody knows Clarissa. Clarissa, sit down.
She's a regular.
She's a regular.
She's like, I smell your dog. I smell your dog.
But also, most importantly, you're the mom of 2 adult sons.
Yes, 23 and 26.
Wow.
Yep, 23 and 26.
So you're an empty nester
Freaking
too.
me out. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Did anyone boomerang back home? Do you have anyone home?
I don't. Not right now, because one boomeranged back about a year ago, and then about 7 months ago, I was like, you need to boomerang somewhere else.
Take your ring
I have
and
a
boom somewhere
boomerang
else.
and I have a college student.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
But it is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard.
Yeah.
When
it was hard not having them in the house, like that purpose, that kind of constant, always taking care of something, someone doing all that kind of stuff was huge. And then the house is really quiet and really dull.
Mm-hmm.
That's
now
the
I
worst.
Have a dog, and it's so much easier actually.
Yeah. And now you can like plan what you want to do every
hard.
day. Because I found myself going, are they coming home? What are they doing? Do I need to be available? Do I need to cook for 2 people, 3 people, 4 people?
100%.
So now you could just eat like nachos for dinner.
Yeah. Or just not have dinner, or a bowl of cereal if you want to. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or a glass of wine and some cheese.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
my favorite dinner.
I know.
Oh,
So
that's
good.
my dinner.
I started my day, I was going to dress up and look cute, and then my son had to go to a doctor's appointment, and so this is mom mode, which we've all been there. So I'm like,
Oh my
okay, this
God.
is cute mom mode, I guess.
Very
But
cute mom mode. Yeah.
Anyway.
And we all kind of coordinate. Ladies.
Yeah.
I know. Look at us.
I mean,
in
I
our
know.
It's
little
almost like we
pastels.
planned it.
Exactly.
We could do a little
show.
Valentine's vibe going on, little pinks and purples.
We do.
I love
So,
it.
okay, so I have a question because we talk about this all the time, obviously, because you're an actress and you're working all the time. But on your off time, Clarissa's chewing a bone, by the way, just so you know. But this is the way it goes.
This
There
is
you
life.
go.
You're
This
welcome
keep
to
it
This is
real.
moms at home doing a podcast.
That's it.
That's
Keep it
what
real.
it is. Yeah.
What
exactly.
did you start to pick up any new habits, or not habits, but hobbies, or did you bring one back that you couldn't really do, or anything like that?
When my kids left home, kind of.
When you had that extra time and the house was quiet and it was silent.
I think everything kind of came back. I started exercising more and going to yoga more and hiking more. And because exactly what you said, there's always something to plan around.
Sure.
When I look back now, because my kids have been out of the house for quite some time, when I look back now and think about work, their schedules, schools, different schools, after school activities, thank God I had an awesome nanny,
Right.
but I needed to, because I
Of
was
course,
working and
of
it was like
course.
balancing a million things. And when I think back about how I did that and how slow my life is now, it doesn't matter if I work 300 days a year.
Right.
My
right.
life is so much slower now.
Well, you have one job. You're just an
That's
actress.
it. Yes.
And you don't have to be like a tour guide and
or a driver,
personal assistant, or
be a
yes.
personal assistant to many people.
problem
like,
solver.
Yes. Yeah.
To everything.
I was the assistant even to the ex, right? Because it's like, are you going to go to the school meeting? Are you going to go to the school function? Are you bringing the, you know, it's all
Right.
that. So I even felt like an assistant
Yeah.
in that way. So
for
it's
sure.
crazy.
And it's so funny
sure.
because now if I have a day where I don't have, obviously I don't have the kids in the house anymore, but if I have things to do, it's like I have an appointment at 2:00 and I spend all day going, well, I can't do much because I got that appointment at 2:00. I mean, my day's full now.
Yeah, I still have a lot of meaning and I still have a lot of purpose. I still have purpose, darn it.
But I think
It
about
doesn't matter how much you're doing, right?
But I think
still
about
want to have that purpose.
before, you know, I had my appointment at 9 and then I had the kids thing at 10 and then I had to go to a meeting at 10:45. And how we fit all that in, and now it's like I got that one appointment.
Yes.
My day,
Yeah.
I don't know how I can do it today. I'm
So
busy.
true.
Do I
You know,
shower?
so
Do I
when-
wash my hair today? Or my husband and I had the conversation yesterday. He's like, do I wash it next week? Do I wash it tomorrow so it looks good for Wednesday? And I'm like, that's
Right.
what we're thinking about now.
Right. It's so much. It is easier. It is easier. But I mean, we obviously worry about our kids, and we're still trying to schedule things. I have boys, and they're not that in touch. So
Yeah.
that makes it.
Yeah.
They are not. We all
Yeah.
have boys.
Yeah, we all have
This
boys.
is a
It's
boy.
two boys,
no
texting, no responding, no
Yeah.
this. So I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. You don't need me then.
I just
Right?
keep
We're good.
texting.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I mean, I tried.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I guess
I just
you really
text
don't
if I-
need me.
Right. And it's like, should I text today? Should I
Right.
not? Like, how much am I
Jill, is it
helicopter?
too often? Or sometimes I'm like, Jill, hold on. I got a thumbs up. Okay, anyway. Like,
Right.
we got a thumbs
And you
up
get
from
all
3 days ago.
excited.
Yes, exactly.
And you're like, oh my God, my son FaceTimed me like last month
Right,
from the
right.
hills in Mammoth. And I think I was so excited.
Yeah.
But then Christmas came and I didn't hear a word.
Yeah.
And he didn't even come over.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I did
Like,
not get a Christmas
what?
gift from my youngest on Christmas, and it was like,
Oh, I've never gotten one. I mean, I can't believe you're making a big deal about one Christmas.
well, only because usually I'll say to them,
That's not true.
you know,
Maybe
Christmas
once
is coming. I hope you're getting me something because
Right.
I'm trying to raise you right.
Right. Right.
But his girlfriend definitely got more than one present, and it was thoughtful and all of those things. And it's like,
we're gonna need to change the name of this podcast soon. Something about bitter moms
Oh,
and
there you
boys
go.
or something. No. Sorry,
Boys and
there's
moms,
even
boys
sons here helping with this podcast. Right now.
I know,
Well,
I
there's
know.
pay involved. I'm gonna tell you that.
I mean, he's
as he should.
and he's here and he's
Yeah.
present, and
No,
we
he's
love
great.
that.
That is true. That is
Wonderful.
true.
Yeah.
I started early when our kids were little. I would do this thing of like, Dad, I would tell my husband, you have to go shopping with them to buy my gift.
Right.
And so we did that, in the same vice versa, which
Yeah.
they've still kept going, which is really
That's
sweet.
really
so
sweet.
I do
And
get a gift.
it does help if you're not separated from the
Yes,
father. You
yes.
know, so I'm gonna blame myself a little bit for that. You know.
Well, me too. Me too.
Things
Yeah.
happen.
We
have
are both
to-
in the same
Right,
situation
right.
with that. We
Life
don't have the
unfolds the way it does.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But I
Yeah.
think that makes a big difference, and I think the impact of both parents, they're
Yeah.
coming up with these kind of, you know, not rules, but like the way
Traditions.
that traditions.
Yeah,
There we go.
exactly.
Helps
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
I was
That's a
just
big
trying to save the pain. I'm like, I don't want the pain 20 years from now, so I'll
Yeah.
figure it out now.
Exactly.
Plan ahead.
Yeah.
I think the biggest fear is that at least I speak for myself, that we will become irrelevant.
I know.
You know, and that's the
I
thing.
know.
Because you have a son who just got married.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And boys do sort of, my mom always said that. She's like, you need to have a daughter because they stay closer to home. Boys kind of go off to their wives and
Right.
their wives' family and their wives.
Right.
I'm so lucky that I love my son's wife and she's such a sweetheart and stuff. But
That was my next question
Yeah.
because your
Yeah.
role
Yeah.
changes. It's
Yeah.
no longer
Yeah.
you're his first girl.
yeah, for sure.
And if they have a daughter, you won't even be his second girl.
yeah.
You know, not
Yeah.
to
That's
Right,
so
right,
true. Yeah,
right.
But
no, it's
it's-
interesting. But I'm very happy that they have each other because the way that they are with each other, although she's kind of a little out of touch like my son is. My son tries. He does. He's 26 and he tries to stay in touch. He's just not it's not a
Right.
natural. It's
Sure.
not his thing. He's
Sure.
never been his thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And she's a little bit like that too, which, you know, obviously is tough, but I'm just happy that they have each other, that they have each other's back, and I kind of love their relationship. And so although, yes, I don't feel as needed or like the first girl or, you know, any of
Right.
that stuff anymore,
Right.
I'm glad that he has her. You
But
know what
that's
I
so
mean?
healthy.
That makes me really happy.
That's
So I
lovely.
have to say.
That's so healthy.
Yeah.
I'm still
You're struggling
learning.
with
I'm
that.
still learning that because, you know, no, I don't want to be his first girl, and I know that's not what I raised him
Yes,
for.
you
Right.
do.
But-
We all do. But anyway, now you can talk
Shut
the
up,
truth.
Leah.
I know. We know us.
but you know, it's that feeling of also we're not raising them to be us. We're
Right.
raising them to be them. And
Just to marry
have
us.
their lives. Right.
I wouldn't want that. That'd be terrible.
yes, yeah, that's not. We're going to therapy after this.
No, someone like me, not me.
Oh.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's my biggest lesson is because, for example, this is not about marriage, but with Grant, my youngest,
Yeah.
he.
I feel like you're about to cry right now.
Oh,
because
I'm not.
Grant's home.
No, I'm not. I'm so.
Are you
good.
sure?
She followed
Positive.
him.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, I did move states because I did,
She
but-
followed
I
him.
know.
But no, he I have been so concerned about him in school because he goes to class, he does his work, he goes back to his room, and all he does is sit on the phone and talk with his girlfriend. He doesn't go to parties, he doesn't go to games, he doesn't have another hobby. And so it's been making me crazy. And I had a good friend, Robert, who said, by the way, Robert doesn't have children, but he loves to give us advice about having them.
Advice about children
A
and
lot
parenting,
to
though.
say. But he was absolutely right. He goes, did you ever, he goes, look, he's doing well in school.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. He's not doing drugs. He's not drinking.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider that maybe he's just not you?
Right. He's that type. He's
That's-
not social. My kids are so not me.
Yeah.
They hate being. I'm very introvert, extrovert, so I can be in social situations for a week and then in a cave for a week. You know what I mean? But my kids, both of my boys, I love to travel. They hate to travel.
Really?
They traveled around the world. They went to schools in different countries. Their life was that. Now they don't even want to get on a plane. Like at all.
Right.
And they have a very tiny friend group. It's always one or two friends. They don't want to party.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't.
Yeah.
You were just at my
Yeah.
50th. I like to have a party.
I know. It was fabulous, but
I do
Yeah.
too.
So it's just really interesting how, it almost like it skips a generation. They're a little more like my parents, my mom. It's
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
I was more like my grandmother. I don't know if that's always the case, but I was definitely more that way. Yeah.
oh,
so
that's
it's-
interesting. I'm more like my grandmother too.
You are? Yeah.
Yeah, my mom is very Virgo and very, she wants to control everything.
Uh-huh.
And I'm much more like my grandmother, like, oh, what's fun? What's new? What's
yeah.
out there?
Yeah. My grandmother was like way ahead of her time in that way. Yeah.
But that's the lesson that I'm learning is to, as Mel Robbins says, the great help person who came out with this book called Let Them. And it's made such a difference. Let them.
Yeah. Right.
That's their life. That's
Yeah.
not your life.
Yeah.
And so that's for me.
Hard. It's hard.
I've heard that there's a saying called parenting, is the art of knowing when to hold on and let go at the same time. And there's just so much of that involved.
Right.
And then, letting the guilt, because you're guilty about everything you do, right, wrong, this,
Yeah,
that,
for
worry,
sure.
don't worry.
Right.
Judge, not judging, all of that. And it's really their own journey. And it has taken me a long time to get to that point.
Right.
Trust me.
Right.
But with my younger son, who gave me a bit of a hard time, I'm not going to lie, I had to get to the point of letting go of all the outcomes and what I think and what I think. And you try to guide them, but you just can't force, letting go of that control.
It's hard
was
to
really challenging.
It
just
is.
listen and not speak. That's my
Yeah.
biggest problem.
Yeah.
Because you just have to listen and let them work through it. And sometimes they don't need advice or want advice, I should say.
Yeah.
So you just have to listen, and that's really tough.
I think it's, for me, you said it, which is it's trying to understand what's in your brain that you want to come out of your mouth, whether that's parenting or whether that's judging.
Yeah.
Like which...
I know.
That's so...
Finding the levels of what
Right.
that is. 'Cause
Knowing.
those are pretty damn similar. They
Yeah.
can be, right?
They are very much so.
They
Absolutely.
can be, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like, and then knowing each child, each kid, and how they receive things. And for some reason, I have a hard time with my younger son. Everything I say, I could ask questions just about your life because I haven't talked to you in a while. And so what's going on with this? What are you, Barbara? Like, just stop. Like,
Right.
just stop asking me all these questions. And I'm
Right.
like, why are you putting me, why are you questioning everything I do? I'm like, I'm just curious about your life.
Yeah.
Like, so it's
Yeah.
interesting how kids take things too.
Absolutely.
It's
How
so
they hear it.
interesting. Yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And the one word answers is
Yeah.
the hardest.
Or the grunts.
Yeah.
The grunts. I get the grunts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I keep repeating myself. And they're like, why are you repeating yourself? I'm like, if I get a response, I would stop repeating myself.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So they're making me crazy.
Yeah.
I just read that we spent 90...
Do you have girls? Do you have
I have 2 boys.
2 boys?
All
Two
boys.
Boys.
All boys.
I had
Yeah.
a girl dog, but
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I got
Yeah.
a girl dog.
yeah. Now I have a boy dog, so it's, everybody's marking everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know,
Yeah.
right? So
Jeez
funny.
Louise.
I just read we spent 90% of the time that we're going to spend with our children by the age 18.
Yes.
That's crazy.
I read something like
Isn't
that,
that
too.
crazy?
When you think about because of the school and how much time you spend before they're in
Yeah.
school and all of that.
Yeah.
And,
Which then begs the question, what's next for us?
right.
Like,
Right.
what are we going to do for ourselves? Because it's never too late. I mean, my God, we're still on the younger side of my mom.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what are we going to do? What for you, what excites you?
I've had like the last 5 years for mentally. Also, I used to work a lot more. I still work. It's great, but I just have a lot more time on my hands. Let's be honest. I just do. And there's such beauty in that, as well as sometimes a little flailing, like, but I've done really amazing things like backpacking trips, week-long backpacking trips through the mountains where you carry everything on your back, or meditation trips, or being able to help other people in a different way than I used to be able to. You know what I mean? Just show up for people or causes or
you have more time.
You just have more time. And when you're a mom and your kids are little, I think you really do focus on that. And I used to try to take my kids to do, help, things to help the community and stuff. And I'm like, why? We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I tried though. I did try.
Right.
You
I don't
instilled
want to
it.
go downtown and go to the mission. I don't want to,
Right.
all that stuff. I did try. So now I can do those things.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I
that's
do
great.
have more time to help other people and, and work on other things like producing as well.
Right.
And you guys are doing this. So, I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah, that's when this started. Because
Yeah,
of that.
because you do have
Yeah.
more time on your hands.
Exactly.
But also, I just feel like I'm getting the time to even heal things from my past and my childhood, not to be so airy-fairy in LA about
No,
it. But
that's not airy-fairy.
but
That's healing.
do therapy, all the things that I didn't have time for before.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
a lot more time for that now.
Have
so
your
it's been
friends changed? Because I'm going through a transition of all my friends that I moved out here with. Most of them are single or gay and maybe had not gotten married or had kids. I hadn't seen them for almost 20 years, and now they're there. And I'm so happy because now our kids are grown up. So our parents are not so much our focus anymore because our kids have new friendships. And now we've kind of outgrown a lot of the friendships they had. Our kids moved away.
Yes.
So it's kind of fun to go back to my single fun friends. Not that my parent friends weren't fun.
Yeah.
But just a different time in my
Yeah,
life.
some of us were fun.
But your
I know.
parents, oh yes, I know.
Right.
Here you are.
Yeah.
You're still here. And I still have many great friends that were parents. But yeah.
It's funny, I don't. I actually don't. I think my kids switched schools quite a bit. They
Oh,
had
I
some learning things, and so that we moved around a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of those, but I love the fact that I'm not forced into friendships because
Because of
the
playdates.
kids are really good friends,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh god,
Right. Like,
God, that's so terrible.
I don't have anything to say
It's
to that
terrible,
parent.
but sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
I love most people, so it's fine for
Right.
a time, but you do get kind of in those situations where you're forced into friendships because your
Right.
kids are or whatever.
Yeah,
no,
and
definitely.
I kind of love that. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. Yes. I've had a lot of my friends even throughout the childhood, but it definitely changes. I have friends that had kids a bit older and have
Right.
younger kids.
Yeah.
And they're coming out of that initial bubble, like with their 10 or 11-year-olds.
Right.
And
right.
we're starting to reconnect and have time together again, which is so nice, So I'm seeing that a lot with some of my friends that waited. I had kids so young. So I was in a different place than them for years.
Yeah.
I had
yeah.
my first at 24 and then 27. So
okay.
most of my friends didn't have kids,
Right.
So I was the one with the kids and the excuse to go home early, which
You
I was
were
fine with.
a young mom.
I
I'm
was a
so
young mom,
jealous of
yeah.
that. I was older, but I got to live a little bit longer, I guess. My own.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think you can be more ready as well on
Yeah.
some level. I felt really ready at 24
Yeah.
and 27,
Yeah,
but in
for
retrospect, I'm like,
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
I was
As ready
balancing
as
a lot of plates, but as ready as
ready as-
anyone
yeah.
is,
You're
right?
never-
At some
you're
point.
never ready.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter
You just
what
because
age.
there's no book that is the
Yeah.
end all be all. Okay, so now, and you said it, so I'm not saying something you didn't already say. So now you're 50.
Yes.
At 50, I feel like that's a benchmark because I'm 8 years older than you. That where we start to come into our own and really start to prioritize who we are and how precious our time is.
Well, that's a big one for sure.
Right, and in
You
terms
get a
of
little
who,
older, people are dropping off like flies around
Yeah,
you.
Right.
It's
I know.
just
It's
so
terrible.
weird and awful. But that really does bring into focus, right, the time that we have. And
who we want to spend our time with.
Absolutely. And what we want to spend our time doing. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you can swear on your podcast, but it's like
You can do whatever you want.
people at 50, they say at 50 years old, the thing that changes is they're just like no fucks given kind of anymore.
Right.
And
Right.
there's an element of that
Yeah.
that is true.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not a people pleaser by nature, actually, but I always want to give time to people when they need me all the time. I have a lot of that in me. So I'm not a
Right.
people pleaser because I will say, nope, can't do it, nope, can't, whatever.
Right,
But
right.
but definitely a lot of people that needed from me, and now I definitely have that more. I'm like, I will go out of my way. I will make an effort. I will do that stuff, but I have my limits. I have my boundaries. There's a little more no fucks given. Sorry that's not
that's
good,
healthy.
not working for you.
No, that's healthy. You have to take care of yourself. That's taking care of yourself.
It's
that's
taking
really
care of
what
yourself.
that is.
I have a lot more of that. I think your kids grow up and you've been taking care of other people for a long time, and there's just it's you come into that time, and it's
My husband's like, what kind of movie do you want to watch? And he's like, what's your favorite movies or what types of movies? And I'm like, okay, well, if it's not Pixar, like you spent so many years seeing Pixar movies or all the movies that you wanted your kids to see, like from the 80s and 90s. So now it's like, well, what do I like? I'm like, I really don't know what I like. I got to think about that for a moment. I've forgotten.
Right.
Because I was trying to think, what would they like as opposed to what would I like?
I have a boyfriend with a young child still, so. And that was a very, very hesitant for me to get into the relationship because he has 3 younger children, and the youngest being 7 yesterday. And whenever he wants to go to see kind of animated movies or anything, I'm like, I've been there, done that.
Right.
Have at it, but I'm not going.
Right. No, I
swear to
understand
God, isn't that
completely.
horrible?
No, it's not.
But I'm
it's
like,
not.
I don't need to see Mulan.
You have, exactly.
And it's his experience
You
with
have
his
that
kids
time.
too, so
that's
that's
right,
yeah.
exactly.
Right.
And they have moms. It's all good. So and great moms. So I don't have to be their mom.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I did that, been there, done that. I'm good.
I understand.
We do lots of other things, but
Right.
Sure.
Well, you go to the bouncy.
We go to the bouncy
things, whatever.
Sky Zone and
Right.
zip line and do other
Which is
things.
fabulous.
We've
Been
been
there,
there. Yeah.
So we always ask everybody, what is their, if you having raised your kids, looking back now, what is your golden nugget, if you have one, in parenting?
What to do or what not to do. It can go either way.
Well, it's golden nugget and then epic fail.
Yeah.
Because I have more than one epic fail, but
Oh my God, I have so many fails for sure. So
yeah,
many.
I think we all do.
Yeah. The golden nugget, my gosh. I exposed my kids to so many things in the world and also just here in our own neighborhoods and communities and stuff like that. I gave them a really so my golden nugget is similar to my epic fail because I gave them what I thought was the best education I could give them, which turned out to be more of an epic fail. And if I had my time back, I would have done it differently. But at the time,
Was
I
that
gave
moving them around? Is
everything.
that what you questioned now?
Yeah, I think I would have put them in much more of an organic school situation with less pressure. All of these kind of private schools. My kids went to so many.
Yeah.
Everyone in LA, basically.
Yeah. We went to all of us.
High pressure.
Yeah.
It was so wrong for them.
Yeah.
They have some learning difficulties or
As mine.
differences.
Sure.
And they really struggled, and I think that had such an impact on them as people, and it will forever.
Right.
And I really wish I'd put them like in these schools like Manzanita, where you just go to school outdoors and there's no pressure
Grades
put
don't
on
matter.
anything until, for a while at least.
Right.
Sure.
And you learn in a completely different way. I would have done that. But I did expose them to people and life and different cultures and different countries and
A global view.
a global view of things, and I feel proud about that. And I also brought them back to my home country. I'm from Newfoundland. I'm from like fishing villages in Newfoundland, Canada, and I brought them home a lot to see where I was from, and hopefully some of that stuck, that just kind of family dynamic stuck. But
Yeah. I think that
was a good
amazing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's really nice.
Epic fails, I think, was the education. I think.
Yeah.
I feel that way
Also,
about my older one.
I yelled.
Yeah.
I yelled a lot.
Yeah.
I think the learning difficulties, as much as I did everything I thought was right, I think was really a struggle. Like every morning I'd wake up in a good mood. Good morning, wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. And about 45 minutes later, I was screaming at somebody.
Right.
Where is your bag? Where? And saying it again and again and again. And
Yeah.
I think my kids got yelled at a lot. And that's a bummer for me.
We
I
all-
think that's us trying to do our best, though.
Right.
Isn't
Yeah,
it? I
you
mean,
are.
that's the
And you're
pressure that we
stressed
have
Yeah.
is wanting to do the best for them. And so I
And
feel
also-
like that's where the stress comes from, the yelling. So it's not about them.
Yeah.
It's just handling our own stress
Absolutely.
while raising children. And you were working consistently. And because I
There's a
know
lot of
that I
pressure.
was tense, and I do feel like I was a little snappy once in a while too.
But I think
that
a lot
I wouldn't
of
have
that
been.
was
Right.
because we thought we had an expectation, which is why you
course.
put your kids in the school, because that's what we thought was supposed
right thing.
the
Yeah.
right thing
Yeah,
to
of
do.
course. Yeah, of
And
course.
that's why
Absolutely.
that goes back to that let them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I feel the
Yes.
same way because I have a neurodivergent. My eldest is Harrison, has
Oh.
ADHD, and that was really if we want to get to the real epic fail, was when he came home from school one day and he said, I don't even know why I try, Mom. I'm not going to do well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I was like,
so heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. Yeah.
And I immediately took him and got him a learning evaluation to figure out what I could do to support him in a different way. And but it's, I get it.
Been through that journey for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And did everything I thought I could do, and then put him in this program that's intensive, and then that's stressful. You know, it's just hard for them. It's just so hard to know what the right thing is, and you're doing every possible thing. And so
I still feel like learning has a long way to go, because it's just not an all for one. Every kid
not
is
a monolith.
different. No. And I feel like there's one way, especially in private schools, there's one way of doing it. And if you don't fit that mold, well, you're not bright, or you're not.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Certainly couldn't be our program, our curriculum.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, gosh.
Exactly. So
Don't
it's
even get me
terrible. So I
started.
feel bad for the kids having that pressure, for sure.
Yeah. And then, because, by the way, the principals and the teachers are pressuring you as a parent.
Yeah.
And so I used to get so annoyed, actually, at their dad. You know, I have to even, say apologies to him, because he would go into these meetings and he's like, I don't see it. Now, he had some learning difficulties as a child too, and so he had a much more direct view of what that felt like and looked like, you know, because he'd been there.
Right.
But he used to go into these meetings going, I don't see it. I don't see the problem. And he was just avoidant, I thought. But in retrospect, it was kind of like he always had their back, and I was always like with the principals and the teachers and doing what they said, and you know. And so some of me also regrets that as you know. Right. I go, should have had that. I did pull him out of a lot of schools, to be fair, when it wasn't working.
Right.
And try another one, and you know.
Yeah,
so
sure.
But
you're doing your best, like we all are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard. It's not easy.
Oh, that's the main thing, is moms and dads.
Yeah,
we do what we can with the information we have
at the time.
And as Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, what we do. Well, this was fun.
It was fun.
This was awesome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for coming.
Yes,
So anything you want to, you're just working all the time.
I wouldn't say that. I'm producing a Christmas movie called All I Want for Christmas, and another winter's gone by and we haven't started it. So
you'll get there.
It is so hard.
We've
though.
had
It is
strikes,
so
and we've
hard.
had
strikes.
We've had so much stuff happening.
It's been challenging.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm doing I'm doing a movie called Captive in Australia coming up.
Ooh,
I have a movie coming out called it's really cool. My friend wrote it. House of Abraham. That's a cool psychological thriller. That's going to be out soon. I think they're finishing up on distribution, whatever.
Right.
So House of Abraham. That's a trippy one. But yeah, little projects here and there.
And your social, if you want people to follow you, is
NATASHA Henstridge on Instagram, I think. Or
Perfect.
NATASHA Henstridge.
Okay,
Wonderful.
perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
I have one last question.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I just thought of this, if we want to watch one of your movies, what's one of your favorite movies on Netflix or Amazon that we could watch? Like if you were to.
Oh my gosh, that's always tough. You know what I really like? I remember
so many great ones.
I remember going to the theater. I don't know about so many great ones, to be honest with you, but I do remember going to the theater and really liking The Whole Nine Yards. I went.
Okay.
This is fun.
Movie. Yeah. Yeah.
And now even more than ever, with Matthew and what's going on with Bruce, and it's such a remnant, like a beautiful. And when I flip through channels and I see a movie, if it comes on, anything that I'm in, I just keep on flipping.
Right,
I'm just
right.
oh God, no. But that one I'll kind of watch for a little bit because it was cute. It was fun.
Excellent. And there's also the whole 10 yards.
There is that one you can skip. Whole 9 yards.
Good to know.
Whole 9 yards.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you.